Thank you once again for joining me to talk all things vertical. I found a very wonderful person who we get to talk to and discuss all her wonderful things that she's done in verticals and also other things, because this is the multi-talented Miah James who's going to share her life and times and experiences of verticals with us. So are you all right to give the internet the sort of the introduction you would give to someone if you met them at a party or if you met them out?
Oh
What would you
yeah,
say
sure, of
about yourself?
course. Yeah, okay. Let me give it a shot. I don't go to many parties or interact outside of verticals, but I'll do my best. Hi, my name is Miah James Green. Oh, I almost just did a slate. I'm 5'7.5". I live in LA. And I've been acting for a few years now. I've been modeling for longer though. I really enjoy doing runway modeling. And I'm also a circus performer, and I have two wonderful students that I choreograph acts for and I go to competitions with, and they actually just won nationals for a competition where they got invited to the world like equivalent. So that's really exciting for me. I love crocheting and playing instruments and singing.
Oh my goodness. Right. Okay. So we have to dive into all of this. So can we actually start with the circus performance? Because anyone who goes to your Instagram, as all good vertical fans will see that, is it right? You're an aerialist? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes. Yes.
How do you go from being a child to like, I'm going to be an aerialist? Like, how does that happen? What's the path?
Well, it was a long journey to where I am today, but when I was 6 or 7, I was an all-star cheerleader, and my mom's like all the moms wanted us to build our core strength because the coaches were like, "Oh, they're not very strong in their core. They don't understand how to tighten their core." And my mom was talking to my hairstylist that we're really or her hairstylist that we're really good friends with, and she suggested that I try aerial silks. And at the time, I couldn't take an actual class because it was all adults. So I started doing privates and doing silks, and then I moved on to Lyra, and then I moved to LA and started doing Lyra in an all kids traveling circus group. Then I moved to Vegas because our friends opened a gym, and I from there really started my training at like 12 or 13. And now I'm 19, and I've just been doing it for a really long time. So yeah, it's really cool. I love competing and performing.
What would you say are like the key things that you need, and what's like the biggest buzz? What's the biggest rush about doing it?
Um, I love performing because I love to go on stage and just be whoever I want to be. Um, I have a tendency to not choreograph acts before I compete. I just kind of go out there and freestyle, which I've been told is kind of psychotic, but it's just like this very liberating feeling. Like I go out there, they start playing my song, and I just float. And I love it. I've loved it ever since I was little, and it's such a rush and like so scary, but amazing. And then they say that I won, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yay! Because I'm the most competitive person alive.
And so it sounds like you're combining performance, but you're also combining like extreme physical fitness and ability. Olympics. You mentioned Olympics to me. Do you think that can happen?
So, well, there is a kind of equivalent of Olympics for aerials because aerials are not in the Olympics yet, nor do I think they should be, just because all Olympic sports are very tied into scores. I
Mm.
think aerials is too objective. Like, when I judge lots of competitions, and when I'm judging, you can have the most insane tricks ever, but if the form is terrible, I'm like, ooh, girl, you need to work on the form before you throw these tricks. If you don't, it's quality over quantity to me. And then there's such an art aspect to it. And not to say there's not an art aspect to gymnastics.
Mm.
Um, but at the same time, like they can add all these little flares to their routines, but each trick they do still has a score that can be allotted to it. Whereas everybody in aerials has their own way of style and flow. So it'd be very hard to allot a specific number and make it fair. Just because it's so subjective to perception and what you like to see in performance and just the music, everything about it. But yeah, I went and competed for Worlds, which I did in Greece and in Italy. I didn't win because I was throwing up because I got so sick both times. I don't know why. I travel very well usually, but those times I did not travel well. I did not, but I'm hoping that my students can go and kind of resurrect my career in that competition because they're just doing so amazing and getting such high scores, and they got invited. So I hope that they can go in my place and
I
win.
love that. It's kind of this unfinished business that the kind of
Yeah.
next generation are going to do for you. Um,
Yeah.
and that's sorry, it's really interesting what you were saying about the scores as well, because I've always watched a lot of gymnastics and sort of ice skating and ice dance. And yeah, I do think you've got a
Yeah.
point of when you start scoring it that much, you lose the flow. As you said,
You
you lose
really do.
the element.
You really do. And even with that competition that I was doing, it's a very different competition. It is more on an Olympic scale. I mean, they have anti-doping things, they have all
Mm,
sorts of things, and then they have books that show tricks and their allotted score. But I just don't think it's fair to score it like that because
mm,
everybody flows in such a different way. And like, even if I could never judge ice skating. Ice
mm.
skating is so beautiful. Figure skating is just so insane, and they just have such a way of moving that I just don't think I could allot a certain amount of points to those skills when everybody does it just a little bit different.
So I was going to ask, but it feels like there's an actual crossover actually, because obviously part of it, from what you're saying, is being in the moment, expressing
Yeah.
yourself, and performing. So it seems to me it's quite natural that actually the modelling follows and
Yeah.
acting. When did the acting really take off? Because it sounds like early on there was a lot of aerials. So when did acting come in as well?
Well, I mean, I did start acting classes at a young age. I think like 10 or 11. I was going to, my mom would fly me out to California by myself. I would Uber to an acting class, Uber back home, and then fly back home, and then Uber back to my house. Because she just did not like to pick me up from the airport. But that's fine. Love her to death. Um, so I started doing acting classes at a young age, but it didn't really start to pick up until verticals. Of course, I did like small things here and there. Um, I was in some independent films with my little brother and stuff when I was about 10, but those weren't, I mean, I was 10.
Mm.
I wasn't really invested in it. It wasn't until last year in November or September that I really started to get into these verticals. And it's just, I've had so much fun and I've gotten some really big auditions for it where I've really got to express and try new characters. So I'm just hoping it continues to grow and grow. But for now, it's at the vertical stage, which I'm happy with. I love verticals. They're so fun to do.
So what was the first vertical that you did?
The first vertical I did was a Hollywood match, where I got to work with just the most amazing people. I'm so grateful for that to be my first experience. Everybody in that was just so lovely and down to earth and fun to be around. And yeah, I don't even, what was my name in that? My mom made me a little
IMDb.
list.
Sophie.
Sophie Miller, yes. I was with Ashley and Adam and Jeff and Robert and Ollie. That was just the most amazing cast for my first role.
Mm.
All those people, genuinely, if you watch Verticals and you like watch I highly recommend you watch their Verticals. I would support them to the ends of the earth. Just the kindest people. But yeah, I was playing an aspiring actor in that, where my first big movie was to come out, and then all this crazy stuff happens, and we get kidnapped, which was really fun to film, by the way. Um, and yeah, I remember being so scared because I had seen Verticals, and we all know that they can be a little bit silly. And I was really worried that everybody would take it super seriously when I got there.
Mm.
And I just had like, I was so nervous, and I had never kissed anybody on camera before. So I had my very first like on camera kiss. And Robert, I had kissed Robert, and he was just a gem about it. He was so respectful, and the whole crew was so respectful. So it was a really great experience, and the vertical came out really well, I think.
I mean, it's a little bit naff to say this, but it's kind of art mirrors life, isn't it? Because the character Sophie's like she's the young one that kind of Ashley's looking after, and obviously is sort of finding her way in the world of
Yeah,
fame, and look,
it
kind
was
of finding
very,
your way in the world of verticals. So
yeah, it was just like that too in real life because I'm the youngest one. I was 18 when I got that. Now I'm 19. So yeah, it was very, very funny, a very funny coincidence. All the things and stuff that I had to do in that felt very natural to me and like true to that moment as well.
and how did you find sort of someone who has been around film sets before, just the speed and the pace of filming of verticals?
Oh, so fast. We film things so quickly. Sometimes you don't even really get a chance to like dive into certain scenes or roles because it's just like, okay, we got that one done. We need to do this one. We need to do this one. I will say it was a lot different in China though. I did film there for a couple months, and things seemed to be a lot slower. The first two, I filmed three verticals in China, and the first two seemed to be kind of a normal pace. And then the last one, just 18-hour days, 18, 16-hour days, and everything moved kind of slow. Um, but yeah, verticals are very fast paced as opposed to where when you're filming something else, like a bigger movie or a bigger short even, you take a lot longer with just one scene because it's so important that that one scene looks really good. When in verticals, there's so many scenes that like, they really pay attention to the paywall scenes and the scenes that are going to draw you in.
Mm. I'm just asking. So how long were you in China for that filming stint?
I was there for a month and a half.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
about a month and a half.
How do you manage that? Because obviously some that's a commitment anyway. But particularly
Yeah.
someone like you who's like, I've got students, I've got other bits of my career, I've got my family. How do you make that work?
It was hard, but before I left with my students, at least, I made sure to give them lots of homework and stuff to do before I left and made sure it was kind of a good time too, just because I had gotten offers before and I was like, ooh, I can't now because I have this and this and this and this. I can't do it here because I have this, this, and this and this. Then finally I was kind of like, I really want to experience this and see what it's like. So I just kind of gave my mom a hug and I was like, okay, love you.
Yeah. But what
But
was
she actually ended up staying. She actually ended up coming for like the last week of filming to see what China was like, my mom. So that
oh,
was a nice surprise. And she brought me Dr. Pepper and bought my friends whatever they wanted from America.
I love that. She
So
was
that
the
was.
emergency American supplies. It's all
They
right.
don't have Dr. Pepper. It's my favorite drink.
That's quite, yeah, that I can see that. There's nothing that replaces Dr. Pepper. You can't, you know what I mean? There's no substitutes. It's Dr. Pepper or nothing. Okay, thank
Dr.
goodness Mum was
Pepper or
there.
nothing. I know. I was so grateful when I saw her rolling up with that suitcase. I was like, my Dr. Pepper is here.
Um, when you're on that, because I know that I've talked to other people, kind of you often there's a sort of group of you doing several projects. Do you end up getting super close?
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, we got so close. So the first project I did, I ended up staying with Gabe all the way through until the end. But then one Mario, who was in the first project, he ended up leaving and then coming back for the last one. It was very funny because it was like the same actors all the way through, but like a bit of a toss up because then like somebody random would join and then they'd get really close with us, and then they'd leave and then somebody else would come. But yeah, we got really close. I mean, just spending all day together and then going to the same hotel and messing around, and then on your one off day we go shopping and go out to
Yeah.
eat. Yeah, we got very close and I'm super grateful for all the connections I got to make there. And actually one of the actors I went with, Jake Siaka, he lives like 10 minutes away from me here, so it's perfect.
And just when you're working on the sets in China, but obviously there's the core of you who've been brought in who American, I know sometimes some other countries. How is communication? Like, do you guys try and pick up some Chinese? Are they kind of
I
they able to
definitely
give you
did.
direction in English?
So, you know, they really tried to give us direction in English, I feel like. I had one director that was very, very good at speaking English. I mean, he had better English than I did. I was like, wow, you're more grammatically correct than I am. Um, so there was him, but he had kind of a hard time explaining exactly what he wanted. And I do very well with broken English and just kind of like picking up on body language. Anybody that I've worked on set with would probably tell you that I'm a bit of a control freak. So I'm kind of like, okay, let's do this. Okay, let's get this done. And then when I notice that other actors aren't listening, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna reiterate this out of the kindness of my heart. And then I just say things because I have since I work with kids and stuff all the time, and that sounds kind of messed up, but I swear it's not. Actors just get very, very like all of us have ADHD, but my
Yeah.
ADHD and then OCD lets me lock back in. So I'm like kind of explaining things in a very simplified way because I'm just really used to doing that, which actually some actors have told me they really appreciate it from me. And others have been like, could you not explain it to me? And I've been like, yes, I'm so sorry. I just get very focused in what I'm doing. Um, but the last that I was on did not speak great English at all. And like, I even had a hard time really understanding what they wanted from me a lot of the time. But I did pick up a lot of Chinese. And one of my favorite words is, 可爱, which means so cute.
Oh, that's useful. That probably gets you through quite a lot of conversations, doesn't it? You
It
just
does. And then if you go
start doing
cuckoo
go.
it means so, so cute, cute.
Um, I have to ask, did you bring any souvenirs back? Like, what was the thing you bought that you wanted to bring back
I,
to China?
oh wow. I bought a lot of stuff there.
That's okay.
Everything is very cheap. I mean, to an American, it was very cheap, but like I bought this big, um, jelly cat, like stuffed animal. He's a big, not dinosaur, dragon. He's a big dragon, and I got one of the cool like fans that they use, like the umbrella fan kind of thing. It's very pretty. It's like one of the cultural things. And then I went to a temple while I was there, so I got some really cool stuff from there, like some little Buddhas, because I have a whole little Buddha shrine in the corner of my room.
Wow.
Um, and then I got this really cool necklace, and I got tons of clothes. And I went to the UGG store and got the coolest shoes that I wear all the time. If you look on my Instagram, they're definitely on my story right now. Um,
Amazing.
so yeah, I just bought lots of clothes and stuff, and I bought lots of like sweet treats to try because I love trying different candies and stuff from different countries. I have a really big sweet tooth, so
You just make it sound so much fun, and I love that you're just
it
I'm going to
was.
go there. I'm going to experience it, and
And it really did give me such an appreciation for America as well, just because of like all the working times we had there and stuff would never really fly here. And yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I just learned so much from their culture, the people, the way they work, the food, everything. It was really an amazing experience for me.
And I'm presuming because you mentioned Gabe that Catch Me If You Can was a project you filmed there.
Yeah, Catch Me If You Can was the nope, wasn't the last. It was the second project I filmed there. The first one I filmed was a supporting role, and then I was the lead in that, which I just had an absolute blast on that set. It was so fun getting to dress up like a boy and walking around and going to the women's bathroom, and then little old ladies were like, "You can't be in here, you can't be in here." I'd be like, "Wait, no, wait, no, wait." Um, yeah, that was so fun. And the director of that, he's an absolute gem. Ryan, let me see if I have his last name in here. Because my mom made me like a little spreadsheet.
I adore your mum. I
She's
feel
so cute.
yeah.
I don't know his last name, but Ryan was the director, and he was just such a gem and really let me take creative control over some scenes. And sometimes he'd get kind of frustrated and be like, "All right, Miah, you direct this one." And I'd be like, "Okay." Um, and yeah, I mean, it was so awesome. Sophie was on that. She played the villain. And we had Jake, who's the one that lives right next to me. He played the assistant or best friend of Gabe.
No.
Um, and yeah, I think that was everybody that was in there. Oh, and
Yeah,
Evie too. She was a doll. I loved her.
because poor Jake never gets out of that office. He's always in that office
He
in his
never
white
gets up.
suit, which I'm like, I think that's
In
why he's
his
not allowed
white
to leave.
suit.
It's too beautiful. He can't go into the real
He
world with white suit on.
he hated that he had to wear that white suit every day. He was like, "Guys, come on. I can't eat lunch in this. I can't eat snacks in this. Like, somebody let me wear a regular colored suit." But the wardrobe team on that too, they were just, I loved wardrobe and makeup and hair on that. I wish I knew all of their names. I wish I had those written down because they are just the sweetest human beings I've ever met. Barely spoke any English, but just absolutely adored me, and I loved them. And they would teach me things on Google Translate, and they're the ones that taught me the koai thing.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, I had so much fun filming that, and then I got to do I got to watch Gabe film the whole stunt scene for the motorcycle. Um, and yeah, it was so great, and I really loved the producer on that as well. Um, yeah, everybody was so cool on that set, and the guy, the big brutal thug that finds me in the park in like some of the last scenes, he was an angel. It was his first time ever acting, and he was so excited to be there. I
Oh,
was Gabe could tell you I was crying on set when I met him because he was just a big teddy bear and so excited to be there and be a part of it. And I was asking him like, "Oh, do you have a wife back home? Are you gonna tell her about this?" And he was like, "I just can't wait to call my mom." Tears, tears. He was such an angel.
so with that one, what was the process of working out like the boy look and the wig? Like, is it a lot of time, or is it just this is what you're going with?
Well, it wasn't that much time because I guess some could say I kind of have some boyish features. No, I'm just kidding. It took a lot of time for them to get all of my hair in the wig cap. Um, but then once they did that, the wig is very simple. They had it pre-styled every day. So I would just go in, they'd put my wig cap on, style the hair. It was already styled, so they would just put it on and then kind of touch it up a little bit. And then they would make my eyebrows just a little bit darker. I asked them to give me some facial hair, but they said no. So that was kind of sad. And then they would contour my nose like here just to make it look a little more broad. And that was really it. It was really easy to get into. I will say, like, a three-piece suit does take me a second to get into, though.
Yeah, and then with that,
I'm
is
not
it
used to
quite
that.
nice when you do get like your, and now I'm a woman, and here is my stunning dress moments and that.
Yes. Okay, the scene I loved is where they find me out and I get to take my wig off and I gotta walk around in my suit. I actually felt very empowered and very sexy and cool in my suit. I was like, with my long blonde hair, I was like, ooh, my suit, my suit, my suit. I was checking my watch that didn't even have batteries in it. I
Yeah.
was like, ooh, I look good. I loved that. And then I loved the Naomi looks too. Those were so fun to do.
And I have to ask, had you watched any? Because obviously, I mean, I always go back to God, what's it called? The Amanda Bynes movie with Channing Tatum, and I can't remember what it's called now. She's the man.
Yeah,
I've kind of
she's the
become
man.
that.
She's the man. Well, here's the thing. I'm really bad about reading scripts before I accept roles. So I had no idea what I was getting into until I was already in China and I got sent the script finally. And me and Gabe started reading it. And I was like, am I a boy? And I called my mom and I was like, Mom, am I a boy in this? I'm so confused. And and I have seen She's the Man many times. So I was like, this is exactly like She's the Man. Um, yeah, it was great though. It was great, but I had no idea that I was doing that. So I had no time to prepare, really. And then they asked me if I could do like a deeper voice. So I would like go and do my Noah voice that was like this, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I can get that for you, boss."
Worked.
It
But it kind of
worked.
makes sense because that's what the character's doing. Because yeah, I mean, the whole point is that the character, it's not like a pre-planned. Sometimes when there's these things, obviously, like in She's the Man, it's like, no, I'm going to prove that I can play football. Whereas I think we said it before we started, you know, your character, she's just helping out a mate because the date's not turned up. So it's
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
I like that
So it
you
fit
haven't
very
had
well.
time
Yeah.
to, this is my man look. It's just like, here we go, let's go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And the scene where I actually get changed into the boy outfit wasn't really written in the script how I changed. And Ryan, the director, didn't want to leave that part out. And so he was like, I'm gonna let you figure it out, Maya. Like, you tell me what you want to do and we'll see if it works. So I was like, she should just start ripping things off me and then putting things on me, and then I'm gonna like crawl away, and then she's gonna drag me back, and I'm gonna be like, no. And then when I trip, so I don't know if you saw, like, really watched it, but I tripped coming out of the, like, behind the counter.
Yeah.
That was not in the script. I genuinely tripped and just continued with the scene.
I love that. But yes, I do remember you crying. That makes it
I
better.
tripped. And I think it'd be so much better if people knew that that was not a part of the script. I genuinely tripped on air.
And starred it out. And you didn't fall, and you didn't need to have someone catch you either, because obviously that's the first.
Nope, never that. I had a big bruise on my knee for like 2 weeks, but I had to continue with the scene. I do not quit. I'm not a quitter.
And because obviously one of the lovely things about that is the comedy. Was that quite fun? Because obviously looking at your verticals, you've done a real range, and you've done some really kind of full-on emotional roles. Is it quite
Yeah.
lovely to be able to go, I can really push this
I
in comedy?
I really liked that. I had so much fun, and especially with the director I got, it was just so great because he really let me like try things, and if, he didn't like it, he'd be like, "Let's try it this way now." But most of the time, he'd be like, "You know what, Maya? That was fantastic." And I'm like, "Really?" Like when I got up on the chair and started flicking the water on him in like a cross pattern to, take the demon out of him. It was all just, we were just having fun and freestyling that whole film, and it was honestly one of my favorite verticals to film, I think.
So, and I think it comes across, actually, that's really interesting, because I think when you all love projects, it comes across on the screen that you're having a blast.
Yeah.
So we do as well. Um, what of your other verticals? What's kind of another one that you were like, oh, I really, yeah, just out of interest, like what do you rate?
Hmm. Well, one that I really liked was My Vampire System, which did come out, but I honestly don't know how to find it. I've tried to find it. I
Oh,
don't know. I don't get it. It's on Pocket FM, but
right.
every time I try to watch it, it's just like the voices. And I don't know if I'm crazy, but I got to do a lot of stunts in that one. That's why that one I really liked. And then Nice to Hold You, Dear with Juan Mario. I also filmed that in China. That was the last one I filmed. Arguably the hardest one I've ever filmed too because of the long work days.
Uh,
But Juan Mario was so great and we got to like play with fake guns and stuff. So that was really fun. I also really enjoyed like the Hollywood Match and Swing My Way Back to You because I love working with Shane Davis. He's just a gem, so sweet and so handsome. Such a handsome guy, which I hope he doesn't see this just because I said that, and he does not need the ego boost from me.
you know what?
But
I'm like, and then click that for real.
yeah,
I will be
I'm
kind.
actually,
Very lovely. But yeah. Uh,
but we're really close friends, so he doesn't need to know that I thought that. Um, but yeah, I also just filmed one with him in Miami that hasn't come out yet, so stay tuned for that. It'll be on Drama Box. I think in it should be coming out pretty soon, actually, because I got done with that maybe a month ago. So I'm really excited to see how that one turned out, because that's only the second ever vertical to be filmed in Miami.
wow. So will we be able to tell it's Miami? As in, did you get to go
I
outside
think
or is it just
so.
it's all in a
We
soundstage?
were, no, we were outside. And I hope everybody that is a fan of verticals appreciates that because it was so hot. It was so hot, and I had volleyball scenes, and I was burning my feet on the sand, but I'm so competitive, so I had to make sure my like little we did like a little montage of us playing volleyball, and I had to make sure my montage looked better than Shane's. So I was just going for it. I was just like volleyball, 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 mine, mine, mine. So I really hope it looks good, but my feet were burning from that. And Shane got really sunburned, but I don't really burn that easily. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm such a talker.
No,
I'm a big
it's
talker.
awesome. Because I was actually going to ask you, I was going to say, given that obviously you're also an athlete, and I was like, have you been able to bring that kind of athleticism into verticals? I would argue you've done it a bit with Catch Me If They Can because it is quite a physical role. But it sounds like this
Yeah.
one you were able to like stand aside. I can do volleyball, people.
Yes, and that's why I love stance. I love stunts too because I've done a lot of stunt workshops and stuff. Like I've been lit on fire, I've done a 40-foot high fall. So anytime I see a role and it says like stunts needed, I get super excited because I love doing stunt work. And yeah, anything physical I'm very comfortable doing, but I haven't had too many roles where I've gotten to like really explore that. Just the new one that I did in Miami, and then my vampire system, I got tackled. And I got to help kind of help the actors with it because the stunt director or coordinator didn't speak much English either. But he was showing me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm an aerialist," and he knew one of my friends and stuff in the aerial world. So he was like, "You can help me. You can help me." Um, so yeah, I really am hoping to get more of a stunt heavy role, but unfortunately in verticals mostly like the men are usually they get to do the fight scenes and stuff, but I really want to have like a cool fight scene because that
No,
would
it
I would do
needs
so
to
good.
happen. There's been two or three. I mean, that was probably one of the things that people really liked actually at the end of Hollywood Match. Obviously, it's
Yeah, we did get that little
actually
yeah.
the character that's doing the rescue, and that's like really
Yes.
satisfying. But yes, we need you doing stunts and action on a screen.
And
That
I'm ready
really
to
has to
do
happen.
it. They just have to let me know. I'm doing it. I'm ready.
And you can be all over the wires, can't you, as well? I mean, in fact, obviously, if you how when you're doing aerials, like how high are you up off the floor when you're up on those silks?
It depends. So if there's like a motor or a pulley system, I can be anywhere from like 10 to 20 feet up. But if it's just like a standard rig, I'm usually only like 11 feet up.
I mean, that's still off the ground, isn't it? And as you said, if you've done 40-foot fall, I mean, yeah, they need to call
Yeah.
you. Um,
Yeah.
with kind of scripts and things coming through, are you seeing a change in what's coming through? What are kind of the things that you're being offered? This is worrying. I've made you laugh.
I've been getting a lot of the vamp or not vampire. I would love a vampire role. If anybody that watches this can get me a vampire role, I would love that. But I've been getting so many werewolf like scenes recently, and
You're not feeling it.
I don't want to be a Luna.
I can see
I
it.
don't want to be a Luna. I don't. I'm not submissive enough for a role like that. I can't. Though it would be fun to be like the villain. I have been getting I'm in works right now for one. They just reached out to me and asked me specifically to audition for this role to be a villain in one of the werewolf ones. So I'm down for that. But
Yeah,
I don't know that I could ever be one of the Lunas.
I get that.
I'm
You'd want to
not.
be in the
No,
action,
I want
don't
to be
you?
the alpha. I want to be the alpha wolf.
There's been, I think, at least one or two now where they have, yeah, they've made it like a Lycan Queen, and it's like, yes, that needs to happen. It's, yeah,
Yes, that's what
that's
I
what we
want.
want.
But as for a difference, I mean, it depends. Like I'm getting a lot of offers to go back to China right now. But they're not really telling me for what. So I'm like, I need to know exactly what you want me for before I ship myself across the world. But I'm getting, yeah, a lot of werewolf ones. And then I keep getting Real Short loves to offer me villain roles. And I love to play a villain. So I'm
Uh,
pretty excited about that. So I might be doing some more villainy stuff in the nearby future. But yeah, I mean, it's not too much of a change, but I think we're starting to move in a less like violent direction towards women
Nice.
because there's a lot of verticals that are very like kind of abusey in a nicer way to say it, abusey.
Yeah,
um,
I think that, yeah, it's just, yeah, no, it is. So, yeah,
but I think we're starting to kind of move away from that. So I'm
that's
hopeful. I'm
encouraging.
hopeful.
That's really
Yeah.
encouraging that you're seeing that. Um, Obviously, we've talked about you'd like to do some stunt roles. What other things would you like to do, whether it's sort of acting? I mean,
In
what are the
acting,
dreams? What are your dreams and hopes? The big
well,
question.
Well, if I'm getting really serious, I would love to be a director.
Mm,
I see myself definitely more behind the scenes, but just because I'm young and pretty now, I'm like, yeah, let's act because I do love to perform. Don't get me wrong. I love
mm,
performing and getting to meet all these people and to act in all these things. But I definitely have more of a taste for directing and like choreographing stunts and stuff like that.
mm,
Um, but in acting terms, if you've ever seen the movie I, Tonya, I can't get that movie out of my head. The
mm.
like magnitude of that movie was it was just so good. It was just so good. And the scene where she's like wiping her makeup off, I want to play like a role where I get to be the victim of these circumstances and get to kind of spread awareness to things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to take on a more serious role in a horizontal, but for now, I'm doing my vertical stuff, which I'm happy with.
And I think, as you said, you're doing a brilliant job of playing really different characters. I think
Yeah, and
when
that's what I
people
love
get a
about
bit
verticals is
stuck
I
in, yeah.
yeah, that's why I get to like experience all these things and all these people and really get to see what it's like to be on film sets. So I'm very, very appreciative of all the time I've got to spend on all these different sets and meeting all these different people. And yeah, of course, all the different roles I get to play, they're all so different and unique and fun. So I'm very grateful. I'm very excited.
If you don't mind me asking, obviously you mentioned you've got ADHD and I have ADHD, and I kind of consider it was really helpful when I realised I found out when I was looking for my daughter and then went, hang on, this sounds quite familiar. And then I had a head injury and it says, can be brought on more by head injury. So it's like tick, tick, tick. So I found it incredibly useful. And now I see it as a superpower. How would you say it helps with acting? Kind of what does ADHD allow you to bring?
Well, I have a magnitude of disorders, but ADHD I think kind of gives me like a new fun energy on set, whereas a lot of people get very tired and kind of worn out from one scene. I can just change my focus to something else so quickly. And then I kind of get hyper focused on things. So I think it just kind of gives me a new perspective that other people don't really see, where I get to kind of like squirrel around and I'm like, oh, we should try this, and then oh, we should do this, and we should do this, and then I just think I have a new perspective and way of doing each role that maybe other actors wouldn't if they're more neurotypical.
I love that. No, I love that. I think that's the way to approach it. It gives you a fresh look on it. Um, so just to ask you, I don't imagine you have much time, but when you do have time to watch things, what do you spend your own time watching? Like, are you on TikTok? Are you watching sport? Are you watching movies? Like, what inspires you?
Inspire me is a stretch. I watch a lot of Rick and Morty. like a religious amount.
Yes.
Like I've I love Rick and Morty. I love The Office. I love the show The Rehearsal. The Rehearsal is so funny. It's just so good. But I'm a cartoon nerd. I love cartoons.
Yeah.
I just find it very calming, especially when I've been on set all day. I don't really want to watch anything too deep or too emotional. I like to kind of just unwind with some SpongeBob or Rick and Morty or Family Guy, and then I'm good.
I have to ask about The Office. Who are your favourite characters in The
Oh,
Office?
Dwight Schrute. Dwight
Excellent.
Schrute's my favorite. I have been Dwight Schrute for Halloween. Um, I
With the yellow
I will
shirt,
have to.
hopefully.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
had the yellow shirt. I had the glasses. I had the pants. I had the belt. I had the name tag. I had everything, and it was the best Halloween of my life. Um, and my little brother actually worked with Angela in a short film. Yeah, and Angela and Patton Oswalt. I can't think of what her real name is, but
Yeah.
her and Patton Oswalt. And I love Dale. No, not Dale. Daryl.
Harold puts up with a lot in that warehouse.
He's so funny. He's so like he's so dry funny and doesn't like I don't think he even realizes he's being funny most of the time. Or I don't think he's joking, which makes it funnier.
It does make it funny. I have to say as well, it's excellent on Dwight Schrute. I actually hired someone to work for me in my day job entirely based on the fact she had a Dwight Schrute sticker on her laptop. And I was like, clearly you're an awesome person. And I was right. She was an awesome person. She's a brilliant
I
heart.
love Dwight Schrute. He's so
But
funny.
I just want to say thank you so much. I think you're amazing. And it's been so much fun talking to you. So just
Thank
thank you
you.
for everything. And I also feel we might need to do like a revisit in like a year because I reckon you're going to have
Yes,
done so much
please.
then. We'll need to like catch up and you'll tell us what you've done next. But just
Yes, I
honestly,
would love
thank
to.
you. You're an absolute
Thank
superstar.
you. I had so much fun. I'm super appreciative for the opportunity to be interviewed by you, and to have the platform I have now. So thank you so much.